You ever pooped in a urinal?
No, but I went and stood at the urinal today at my office, and my boss comes strolling out of the stall, and it just reeks like shit.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I like that.
nice.
I like that.
Way to go,
Dude,
boss man.
have I ever told you the story about the dude that fell asleep in the Panera bathroom that I found?
No.
I
The
haven't told
story
that on
that
the
you found, or
podcast.
you found somebody?
I found somebody. So,
Please explain.
okay, so I'm assuming he was asleep. I'm hoping that he wasn't dead and I just
Oh,
didn't call anybody.
God. You just left a
But
dead body in the bathroom for the next manager to find?
so I walk into this Panera and it's like there's one stall and one urinal and one sink. And I walk in and the uh the lights are on and there's somebody in the stall. The reason I know there's somebody in the stall is because the door isn't locked, and when I go to open it, there's like this obese old man sitting on the toilet. And I'm
Oh,
like, oh
shit.
shit, sorry. And I close it and I leave, and then I'm like, I go finish eating, and I'm hanging out for a while, and then I go back in, and all the lights are off, and they're like motion sensors.
I was
So
going to
somebody,
say,
nobody's been in there forever. So I open the door, lights come on, and I'm like, okay, there's no way homeboy is still there's nobody in here because the lights are off, right?
yeah.
So I can
Yeah,
just go
you're
take shit.
alone. You're
I
good.
walk in, full confidence, swing open, half naked old dude just totally just out.
Wait, so the first time, did he ever say anything to you like, "Oh no, it's good"?
No, I didn't.
Ez did. You probably
I
just
didn't.
found a dead old man.
I might have just found an old dead dude on the toilet at a Panera and just left.
That's
Just left him there.
wild. How long ago was this?
Oh, it's been a couple years.
Did I know you when this happened?
I don't remember. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a long
That's
time.
wild. You probably found a dead man in the Panera bathroom. He probably took the Elvis way. Shit too hard.
I feel like this is like the third episode that we have started just talking about people dying on the toilet.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
Because
Actually, you're
there was
right.
this one,
Yeah. Me
the
and
last
Evan.
one, yep, and then the episode before with the person being stuck to the toilet seat, and then
Oh yeah.
the last week's was about the can shooting up your ass while you're taking a shit.
Isn't this nice? Isn't
I
this
like that.
awesome? Well, anyway, I suppose we should probably introduce ourselves in the show. Welcome back to the Thought Void podcast. I am one of your hosts, Vance Miller. Over there is Esgen Reinstra, the most beautiful addition to the beautiful sunny state, Arizona, or
A
the land of the meth heads.
lot of meth, and
What's
I'm
it
one of them.
like? What are the people like? Is it like
They're
drastically
nice.
different than here or no?
Um, there are a lot more people. So
Fair. I mean,
the
yeah, that's fair.
I don't know how to put this without being rude. Because there's more people, the more of like the trifling type of people there are. Does that make sense?
There's more room for error.
Yeah. So like when I'm at like a Target or something and I see like something that shouldn't be, I'm like, damn, there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of babies, like an absurd amount of babies. Like every time I go to the store, there's like
What kind
five
of
babies.
babies? Like driving cars? What do you mean, babies? Walking on
And I pull
Target?
up. A lot of the babies.
Just a baby pushing a cart?
Could you imagine? But yeah, there is so many pregnant people, so many babies. It's like,
So it's a young area.
it's, yeah, I guess.
Fascinating. Hmm.
Like, I don't know, and they're all like fresh out the puss too. Like they're
Fresh
all
out the
like,
salon shit.
yeah, like they're all like, this was born 2 months ago, this was born yesterday,
Oh
type
yeah,
shit.
he's 37 months.
37 months. It's like the scene from fucking Grown Ups. How old is he? He's like sucking on his mom's tit for milk. 36
Hell
months. That's three. But there's a lot of that.
yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Well, that's fun. That's fun, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of moms.
There's a lot of quails and pigeons though.
Dude,
I
I
like
love
that.
quails are the best thing on the planet. They just run around the ground. They're all like this little fucking puffballs.
I don't know. You know, like the thing. We'll put like an image up of what I'm talking about, but like their like nutsack that hangs in front of their face.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why? What is that? Tell me about. It's like an anglerfish, but it's not.
It's a way of seduction, I would assume.
But they all have it.
Don't we all have it? Some
No,
are
I
better than
don't.
others. Put it in perspective.
You talking about penises?
Penis versus head sack.
Okay, but like, do all quails have?
Probably not the females. I would assume. I mean, I don't
You
know. I feel
think?
like with birds, usually like color and like stuff like that differs between male and female.
Do you think that like the males like shake their nutsack around and then that's how they woo the female quails? They're like, yeah, look at my nutsack. You want to
Yeah,
lick
it's
up on
kind of
it?
like when I do the helicopter to entice.
You're just like, look at, I know you want to be part of this.
And
We're
then they
going
just look
green
at,
with a windmill,
and
bruh.
then they're just like,
Like that. You're not even doing it. You ain't got no
it's
rhythm.
just slapping back and forth.
It's just
Windmill.
look, no hands.
Just barely moving.
Dude, this might be TMI, but I can injure myself doing that pretty easily. Trying to get it to whip around.
Yeah, dude, that's how you get
It
your balls
hurts.
slammed on your thighs.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, it's not
I
great.
try it every day. Dude, you think
Every
okay,
day.
okay,
That's
hear
how I
me out.
dry off.
Could you get a callus on your ball sack if you got hit in the balls enough and then it would
No,
be like armor?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because when you think about it, your balls are constantly rubbing on your pants, your thighs, your dick.
Hmm.
No calluses to be seen. Smooth, soft, supple. Not gonna happen.
Well, like if I were
Unless
to
you're
sit
lifting
here and,
two by fours with your shit. I don't know if you're ever
well,
gonna
that
get the tolerance.
that's what I'm saying. Like if you go to the gym enough, you'll have like calluses on your hands, or like
Of
you
course,
work in
yeah.
like with your hands a lot. But like, say I were to take like a rough piece of metal and just rub it on my sack every day, but
For
it
at
get a
least an
callus.
hour. For like an hour a day. Yeah, honestly, I say we try.
Do you
I
want
feel like it
to?
might honestly the skin is so thin it might just wear through before you get a callus.
It would eventually just scab over enough times.
Okay,
You'd
you're
probably
right.
get a
There'd be
you'd
hella
probably get
scar
a blood
tissue.
infection before you die.
Yeah, you
Oh,
just
the scar
die.
tissue? It'd be like a helmet for your balls. They're built
It's just
in.
like all weird and like instead of like letting it sag, it's just constantly like tight and like
Like tight
lumpy
like
because
this.
it's just all scar
Oh,
tissue.
it would be kind of like if they did like an autopsy on my balls. It would be kind of like a cutting into like a melon.
Like a looks like a fucking cantaloupe on the outside. Just like tan and
Yes.
webbed almost.
Um, I think your video is kind of fucked up.
Me?
Start just go on like a tangent talking for a second.
All right. Well, today I
Okay, no, you're
drinking
good.
again.
Because for a second the audio and the video were not aligned. But anyway,
Oh,
ball sack
awesome.
aside,
We're talking about zombies again.
we're talking about zombies again. Zombies Part 2. Last time we left off with the assumptions of the government has about the apocalypse and the zombies. And today we're moving on to the environmental effects of the zombie apocalypse. So if you haven't listened to part 1, I mean, I
Do
guess you don't
that.
have to, but like
I mean, yeah,
listen to part 1 and then come to this one.
you don't have to. Yeah, you're right. You don't necessarily have to, but I mean, I would.
I would just get
I
some
would.
context.
If you're a
It's
real
fun.
fan, you would.
If you guys actually like the podcast,
If you actually care about us at all,
if you don't,
just manipulate them.
fucking end it. It's
If you
over
don't watch it, I'm
listen.
gonna kill myself.
I'm gonna eat fucking acid. Dude.
I'm gonna eat acid. I'm gonna really punish myself.
I'm gonna take too much acid if you don't watch that video. I'm gonna have a bad trip because of you.
I'm gonna purposely have a horrible trip because of you.
I'm gonna purposely give myself schizophrenic paranoia and delusions if you don't watch this episode or that episode. Anyway, so let's see if I can remember what this was supposed to be about.
Fuck, environmental effects of the zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse. What would
So,
happen?
what would happen? I'm assuming that if I remember correctly, that this is like how the environment, in and of itself, would affect the zombies, and if the zombies are resilient to certain natural phenomenon that we could like hypothetically use to our advantage.
Now, how does a zombie do with greenhouse gases, Esden?
Well, you see, I'm assuming the fact that we're burning all of them
Mm. You think
would
it's almost
probably,
adding to the carcinogenic
yeah, I think they're
cloud? Okay,
pro pollution,
that's
actually.
fair. That's fair.
Heavy smokers, I think. So this is basically like a bunch of quotes again from the document here. Um, cause Causes of zombie infections are generally resistant to most environmental effects, and then the following are environmental factors that apply to zombies in this plan. So I'm assuming what they mean is like the heat is not going to kill a zombie. Like they're not going to get heat
Right,
stroke and die. You know, they're
right.
already
They're not gonna.
or like
Could they freeze to death?
I don't know. I think I would assume
Because
that like
everything can kind of freeze up,
yeah,
right?
like I know in like The Walking Dead they have zombies that like freeze and then come back to life like frogs do that.
Yeah, like hibernation almost.
But I almost think because remember in the first episode we talked about like in within 30 to 40 days like the um zombies would eventually all just die off anyway. I wonder if it was during the winter time all the zombies would be killed more or less because the human body can't handle such cold environments like that,
I
like
don't
on a
know if they'd
cellular level.
necessarily be killed off. I think they would just be dormant. And you
Okay.
would maybe have to like hunt them in the winter extra hardcore because it'd be extra easy. I don't know.
Dude, that'd be kind of fun to sign up for. It's like, all right, today
Right?
your community service is running through the mountains killing zombies.
Instead of your
That's
seasonal
sick.
job being like snow shoveling sidewalks, it's just like
You're on
killing
zombie
dormant
patrol.
zombies. That'd be pretty sick.
That'd be kind of tight.
That'd be fun.
The viral pathogens that cause pathogen zombies have some vulnerability to ultraviolet light. UV light
Hmm.
impairs the function of nucleic
Yeah.
acids or RNA uh, that compromise most viral life forms. And at best, UV light can disrupt virus reproduction in healthy cells. So basically, they're saying that these zombies that are passed on through certain viruses could be interrupted or be photosensitive to intense sunlight.
Right.
So
And that's the only.
activity, I was
Sorry.
just saying, no, you're good. Activity from zombies of that kind might be less during the day, and then at night is when like the real terror would happen.
And that's kind of like the classic.
Yeah.
Zombies come out at night. During the day, you're good to go, do your thing. But
Hmm.
at night, you gotta watch
That's
your shit, bro.
they do that in like you ever played Dying Light, the video game?
No, I have not actually.
They have like different types of zombies, but during the day it's more like kind of like your stereotypical like zombie, but at night like these
Slow.
super zombies come out, and I think that would almost be like the zombies that are more far along with viral infections like that would be the ones that come out at night. So the
Yep.
worst infected would be more sensitive.
The evolved ones.
They're almost
God,
like
that'd be fucking
vampires.
terrifying.
That'd be horrible, dude.
Like
Like they're
during the
scaling
day,
up
they're
building shit,
there, but like you can almost literally walk past them
like
because
an I
they're
Am
so
Legend
just
situation.
like you can literally just kind of like push it over. But at
Could
night,
you
they're like
imagine
climbing your apartment building,
the
busting
building
through
is
your
breaking
window.
through the windows and
Like,
shit?
fuck, dude.
Dude, could you like have you ever seen I Am Legend?
Yes.
Dude, the ending where he forgets to set up all of his alarms and then like at
Yep.
night they all show up. That is the scariest fucking shit. I think about that sometimes.
Because that would
And like
happen. You can't be
it would
perfect 24/7.
and it's like imagine if you were walking down like an abandoned city or something and like in a parking garage where it's dark, you can see them like waiting, watching you, but they can't come out because of the daylight.
Hell
That
no.
would be horrifying, dude. That would be crazy. I mean, it would be really nice though, because then if you were out at night, you could just blast like hella ultraviolet shit, black lights
What I would
everywhere.
do is have like a bunch of arms coming off of like my car would just
Mm.
light like planting lights just all around me
Hmm.
and then shining outward also to keep them away. And that's
Hmm.
how I'd get
Hmm.
around. I would just be like an anglerfish back reference to
Back,
the beginning of the
it
episode.
would be like an anti-anglerfish because anglerfish use the lights to attract things. You're using it
Yeah.
to like repel.
It'd be kind of cool,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Kind of, dude, that would be so sick oh, bro, if you had like a shield with like ultraviolet little
It's
beams
just a
on it.
mirror.
It's just a mirror. Or like if you could have like Iron Man suit gloves, just like
Yes, exactly.
that would be so sick.
Some solar cannon shit.
Oh, bro, we have to try to weaponize ultraviolet light. I mean, the government's probably already done that. Like, come
Oh
on.
yeah. I mean they're probably planning for this specifically with their ultraviolet light
Violet
cannon.
ray guns and shit. Um, it would be low key kind of sick though. Like, I want the zombie apocalypse to happen so bad. I'm not gonna lie.
You know,
Like,
I kind of I get it. I get
yeah,
that because it's like that'd be sick. But after like a month, you're
I'd be like, dude, I just want to fucking play Minecraft and get high. Like, I don't
like, dude, I just want to
care.
like walk down the street and go get a pizza.
Yeah, like I
It'd be fun for a
just want to
week.
shower properly. I want to wipe my fucking ass.
I want to eat this
Like,
slice of bread today and not worry about my slice of bread next month.
yeah, like I want to know. I like AC. In the desert, it's kind of a necessity
Yeah,
type
right.
thing.
Yeah, like right now I need heat.
Yeah. So, evil magic zombies. Oh, fuck, I can't remember these acronyms. What are these?
Evil magic. Fuck. Oof. SZ.
SZ. What were those? What were those? Space zombies.
There we go. Okay.
Yes, I forgot about the space zombies. So, what is V? What the fuck is this? Vegetarian zombies. All right.
Vegetarian.
So, evil magic zombies, space zombies, vegetarian zombies, and warfare zombies.
Wizard zombies.
Wizard, dude.
That's what I
Wanna
thought
talk about
WZ
wizard
was. I was
zombies?
like, fucking wizard zombies,
Wizard
bro.
Necromancy over here.
That'd be sick.
Are all likely immune to any extreme meteorological phenomenon except for fires, floods, tornadoes, and tsunamis. So, like, zombies are not immune to like being blasted with like a hurricane.
Well, I
Duh.
mean,
You rip the pieces.
it's gonna destroy everything, whether it's
Yeah.
alive or not.
Like,
If it destroys a building, it's gonna destroy a zombie.
my thought process is kind of like if there was a certain way to kill something, but you just threw the whole thing in a wood chipper, the wood chipper is going to do the job too. And I feel like these kind of like tornadoes, massive fires, floods, all that kind of shit, that's just the wood chipper of Mother Earth. You know
You
what
ever
I mean?
seen
Like,
wood chipping video accidents?
No, Vance.
All right. Well,
Is it
anyway,
awesome?
it's pretty metal in a bad
yeah.
way. In a bad way.
Should we throw some up on the screen and like cut it right off before the dude gets sucked in?
Anyway, continue.
Dude. Machine accident videos are
They're really
the
bad.
best and the worst thing I've ever seen.
Like where people get sucked into lathes.
Dude, I saw this one where okay, side note, guys, I'm sorry. We'll get to the zombies, I promise.
I mean, it's gory, it's death, it's a zombie.
I
It's
saw
zombie
this
adjacent.
weird, like, dirty jobs, like, weird job show.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Like that
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
era
yeah,
of TV.
Okay.
It was about this, like, farm that would,
All right.
like, take pig skins
Okay.
and put them through, like, this. Do you know what a pencil, like, the old-timey pencil sharpeners that you would, like,
Yeah.
crank?
Yeah.
And if you took that off, the blades, what those looked like the
Yeah.
round.
It's like 2-cylinder blades that just spin around
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, so think of that, but like vertical and motorized. And what
Okay.
they would do is they would feed the hide of the pig, I guess you could say, through it to like get all like the fat and chunks and shit off of it. So then you'd be just left with the skin.
It
What
kind of
they're doing with
squeezes
pig
it
skin-
out.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with it. I'm
Pigskin?
I
You make fucking pork rinds, dude.
footballs, leather armor.
Footballs.
Could you make armor out of
pork
pig
rind.
skin?
You can on Minecraft.
Can you?
You can with cows, I guess. It's leather. Is pigskin leather? No.
Is pig? I don't think it's leather.
No, it's
I
not.
always envisioned pig skin to
Mm.
be like really thin.
Pigskin turns into not cracklins. Fucking, like I said, turns into
Pig rinds?
the shits. Yeah, the rinds.
Dude, look at the size of this fucking burrito.
I'm so fucking pissed right now. Is that Chipotle?
No, it's from this place called Salad Go. Instant Go. It's like a drive-through salad place. Holy shit, this thing is huge.
God, I'm so hungry right now. This is the only thing I've had since lunch.
You gotta get them carbs.
It's been 6 hours. Yeah, I got to keep those energies up. I don't have high sugar. It's not like I need to worry about that or anything. Anyway, continue.
Anyway,
We got
so
to get through this. This is
yeah, I know. We're already like half an hour in. So
yeah.
long story short, they had this blind kid doing it and he got his hand sucked into it.
What the fuck? You can't just say that.
Well, that's what
I
happened.
just took a sip. Anyway, there was a blind kid that did it, and he got fucking sucked into it.
Yeah, destroyed his hand.
Yeah, I'm sure it was just skin left. It was all this fat and blood was gone. It was just pork rinds.
Yeah.
Guess
So that's what we need to do to the zombies.
At least
Like
it's
that's
tasty.
boom. Okay, so environmental effects again. Rain will be vitally important to human survival. If civil water supplies are cut off, humans will have to rely on other means to obtain water. Groundwater from streams and rivers would be unreliable since it'd be difficult to determine if they are vectors for infection. So
Makes sense.
basically, in other words, like everyone says, oh, in a survival situation, you could just drink running water. Not true, because say there's a carcass upstream or a
Right.
zombie just waiting in the water, you suck that shit up through a life straw. I'm sure it's not gonna help with the
Or
zombies.
it's like it's a zombie apocalypse. The water treatment center probably isn't open. So
I
all
would
the
assume that the
water
water towers
isn't
are
getting
down.
treated.
Yeah.
It's just river water at this point.
And it's like you can boil it and reverse osmosis that shit, but
Right.
like who knows how to who has the ability to reverse osmosis with
And
water?
who has the time for that? I'm trying to play the Switch, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm trying to get the zombie apocalypse thing done over a weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Said and done. Grind it out.
Humans who do not have shelter in place, so like a house, with a sturdy structure that protects them from the direct effects of air currents, could carry pathogens or toxins, may be exposed to radiation or viruses or whatever.
Shit. Yeah.
If you're not in like an airtight, air purifying building or something, if the virus or radiation is airborne, you could still be fucked.
Sounds like most people are fucked at that point.
And it's like if the virus is more of like a Walking Dead situation where you have to be dead to turn to a zombie rather than you just get the virus and then you turn into it, and everyone already has it, that's fine. But if you get the virus and then you die because of it and come back, that's when everyone would be fucked.
You ever seen the movie Cargo?
Yes, that movie's awesome.
I love that movie, right?
That's a great example. Yeah.
It's a sleeper. It's a sleeper, dude.
Yeah,
Everyone
I know that was slept on pretty heavy.
watch Cargo. That shit rocks.
Awesome.
Cargo
movie.
rocks for real.
It's so stressful too, but in like the best way.
Yeah, it's a great movie. When I watched it, I was
Really
like,
good.
damn, I did not expect that to be because it's not like a crazy big film.
When it first came out, I was kind of like, it's like whatever, like I'll see it eventually. And then when I finally saw it, I was like, dude, this is epic. This is such a good story.
Banging. Watch it.
And then lastly, like all these scenarios are not meant to be like, this isn't like all inclusive situational awareness, if you will. Like the government has to be flexible enough to understand that if something happens that they haven't been planned for, they have to be able to adjust properly.
Right.
Then that leads us into the phases of the main operation of the apocalypse. There are 6 phases. There is phase 0 through 5, shape, determine, seize, dominate, stabilize, and restore civil authority. So this is kind of like the game plan to keep society running through the apocalypse, kind of like what they did with COVID in a way, rather than having it all come to a halt, end of the world situation.
Dude, could you imagine if COVID is like textbook could have turned into this?
Mm-hmm.
In every movie ever, COVID would have turned into the zombie apocalypse, but it didn't.
I was kind of hoping it was gonna.
I know, same. I'm honestly pissed that I didn't have a normal job through the pandemic and I got to like reap the benefits of it.
So phase 0 is to shape the environment, and these are kind of like the day-to-day operations for each phase. The government will perform routine operations to survey and watch the changes in disease vectors that could lead or cause zombieism. Center for Combating Weapons of Mass Destruction will serve as the lead component to ensure shaping operations are conducted and synchronized with other agencies and the necessary hazmat and CBRNE. So that translates to chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear defense training is accomplished across all of the military.
Okay. I mean, that's
So
fair.
yeah, I feel
That's
like that's just
fair.
big surveillance going on, and that's fine in my opinion.
I
Like
feel like, yes,
that's kind of a
we need a
necessity.
surveillance state at that point if there are zombies. Yeah,
Yeah, like
absolutely.
you
You
got to
need to
know
know
like
where
who's a zombie, who's not.
I need to be able to
Um,
look outside of my door on a TV screen and see if there's anything right outside.
yeah, we're gonna need cameras everywhere. And dude, I bet you money there'll be groups of people that are like, I don't want the government looking in on me
Exactly.
right now. And it's like,
They're
dude,
gonna
the
be looking
world.
at us. It's like
No,
we're
they're not, bro. Like, sure, who like, if they want to look at me take a shit while they're trying to save me from the zombies, they can do
from the
that. You know,
zombie apocalypse. Go for it. Watch me.
watch
It's
me, dude.
not
I don't
great.
care.
It's not
I'm
great.
pretty boring. I'm gonna be honest.
Yep.
Um, phase one is to deter. Zombies cannot share information, obviously, with anyone because they're fucking dead. However, there are zombie-induced forces that could be deterred and should be deterred, such as nation states, terrorist groups with world-ending weapons or weapons of mass destruction, or unethical bio companies, etc. So basically, they want to try to prevent. Remember how, like, I think it was Missouri or some state, like a city, shut down everything and just became its own civilization for like a week, and then they all starved. Do you remember this?
No.
During COVID, there was like a
During
certain,
COVID, really?
yeah,
Damn.
yeah. During COVID, there was like this city that like shut down and like declared its independence for like a week, and then was going to be its own city state or something, and then it fizzled out because they couldn't get any food or resources, and they just kind of all starved and were
Kind
like,
of
"This
weird
is
how that
stupid."
works.
Yeah, right. But they don't want stuff like that or like terrorist groups to take advantage of like the disarray,
Yeah, let's
if you
make their own
will,
government.
and try to take over. Um, or anyone trying to weaponize the zombies. So, in attempt to deter these threats, the military will conduct large-scale training to demonstrate its ability to survive and operate in a toxic environment to deter these things. So basically, it's going to operate at full force as big as it possibly can within the confines of the zombie apocalypse to deter people from trying to fuck with us, basically.
Right.
So military is going to flex hard, is what it's trying to say.
So pretty much every civilian was going to have like some type of military like training at this point.
Pretty much, like everyone will have to be aware, if not like already involved, they'd have to be aware of the practices and realize that like you have to listen to the military right now because the world is currently in.
Dude, that'd be so like, I mean, obviously it would be, but like post-apocalyptic where like the commercials on the TV for like children are about how to like survive the zombie apocalypse, and they're like
That would be that'd be a cool short film.
they're like kiddie but like morbid as hell still.
They're like, it would be so uncanny because your kids would be playing outside. Like, make sure one of them is armed with a 9mm handgun.
Make sure
issued by
somebody
the
has a
government.
pistol nearby. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, cool. Nice.
Make sure you take your anti-zombieism vaccine. Come on out of CVS today. Like,
Right, yeah, it's just like crazy shit. That'd be dope.
I wonder how like I like to that's I started thinking about like post-apocalypse, like after all this is done, how the surveillance would go down too. Because like during the apocalypse, sure, it's totally justified. I feel like most people can see that, but like afterward, I feel like tons of people would be like the government's going to abuse the surveillance and the martial law that they had before
We
or
have to
after.
reverse everything.
We gotta stop it.
Right. Yeah,
Okay,
it'd be like setting up and tearing down for a play.
It's a really good analogy. Just the plays, the world ending.
The play is the entire planet, but yeah. You just have to kind of like take it all down afterwards, or leave it just in case it happens again.
Phase two would be to seize the initiative, evaluate, mitigate, and prepare is kind of like the slogan. So all in place co-op plan members and surviving C2 systems, which are basically systems that were able to withstand and adjust to the zombie apocalypse. So kind of like think of government plans that require technology and the internet. So if any of those survive, this is when those plans are going to be in place.
Interesting. So they have backups for the backups.
They have backups for the backups. Will be deployed in defense against zombies. So the government will conduct Let's see here. Will then conduct confidence building measures to ensure leaders of nuclear powers that they don't think our military is going to attack them or preparing for war, and it's just to deal with the zombies. So
That,
basically,
yeah.
how I am understanding is they're going to use their media power and their power of information that has survived to try to get the word out to other countries that we're not trying to attack them, we're trying to deal with the zombies.
Could you imagine Russia just loading up?
Like, yup,
We're
they're
not
coming at
attacking
us.
you.
It's like, we're not attacking you, it's the zombies. It's like, well, kind of look like you're gonna attack us. That
Everything's
would be,
literally aimed at the US. I swear.
I swear, I feel like that would be my biggest concern too, is like other countries thinking that it's time to attack America right now during the apocalypse. Because imagine fighting the zombies and then fighting like China all at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
really
what would
bad.
destabilize everything, I think. It wouldn't be the zombies.
World War III would be bad enough. Zombie apocalypse and World War III. We're talking about Call of Duty now.
Dude, I've been training for years. Sign me up, bro.
I've gotten like 7 nukes by now, bro.
Dude, back in round 50 at zombies, dude, I could fucking send it right now, brother. If necessary, the government will generate forces to conduct global strikes against initial concentrations of zombies. Other military forces will provide security assistance to federal, state, and tribal authorities to negate zombie threats, provided that provide security for protected civilian areas and aid in enforcing quarantine. So basically, once America is chill and the military is like in action, they're going to try to send our military to help other countries like dissipate groups of zombies and try to protect their quarantine zones so that because the zombie apocalypse will be like a global problem instead of just
Right.
focusing on our country. Once our country is somewhat secure, they're going to try to move outward to try to help the other countries not die.
So it's like, let's
Because
make sure we're good first, and then we'll
mhm,
start to aid everyone else slowly as we start to get everything
yeah,
more under control. But everyone else at the
100%.
beginning,
It's all every
it's on
country for
you, bro.
itself. Yeah. And I think that's really smart because at first I was like,
It
well,
is. It
fuck
is.
them. But then it's like, well, if India is overrun by zombies, you're gonna kind of need to
Right.
like
Or
deal with
China,
India.
the
Yeah,
fucking
or like,
populations, bro.
yeah, it would be you just gotta bomb the whole car,
It'd
bomb
be
the whole
bad.
thing.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
It'd be really bad.
In
Because like
America, at least we can go to like super rules. Like we
like
could all spread
Utah,
out pretty good.
yeah, we're like in China and India where the population is like 2 billion or something. You're you can't go anywhere. You just isolate in your coffin
Sized
home or
apartment.
whatever. Yeah, dude, have you seen those pictures?
Yeah, they're
Those are
literally like
nuts.
3 feet high and like 5 feet
Hmm.
wide, and it's just a bed with like a little
Yeah, dude,
nightstand and a lamp. And it's like that's your apartment, $600 a month, right
that's
downtown
ins
Tokyo.
that's insane.
It's like what the fuck? If I like couldn't sit up in my bed, I would
I'd be
freak out.
pissed.
I would
Yeah,
freak
dude,
out.
I couldn't even fit in there. We wouldn't be able to fit. It's like 5 feet long.
Yeah, it's
You
terrifying.
couldn't even lay down comfortably.
Hell no, dude.
And like, oh, imagine if you were stuck in there during the apocalypse, and
And
you
then
just,
like all the power went down and your apartment got locked
yeah, and you're just stuck in this
in a
box
coffin.
in a coffin. How fitting.
Yup. And you just hear your neighbors like screaming through the wall,
While they're being eaten alive,
or
and you're
just
sitting there like,
starving to death and shitting themselves to death.
I wonder if they'd become like tunnels, like people would start like knocking out the walls and shit, like a tunnel system.
Shit, dude. Yeah, it depends what it's made out of. If it's drywall, you can just Kyle that shit and just punch a hole in
Whoa!
it.
Was there enough space to get a wind up, or we'd have to use your legs?
Right.
It'd be, dude, that would be crazy too, because if you like, kyled yourself through the wall, and then your neighbor was a zombie, that would be that would suck.
Well, looks like I played myself.
Well, looks like I made my situation
I
done
thought the
worse.
zombie noise was coming from the other wall.
Other one, fuck.
Fuck, dude.
Phase 3 is to dominate. So, determined by the commander of United States Strategic Command, all military forces will begin preparations to conduct combat operations against zombie threats. The military strategic forces will make combat preparations in conjunction with everyone else, basically. And there's in the document itself, it listed out a bunch of different acronyms for different plans. And I didn't want to spend like 4 days list going through and explaining each plan. But the
It just
government
makes
has
it
all these,
complicated.
yeah, and it's these plans are basically not specifically for the zombies, but are for um, end of the world, like cataclysmic
Things alike.
events. Yeah, so it's kind of like a broad spectrum to deal with certain issues, like if there was a massive flood or another virus or like a big
If
terrorist
Noah's
attack.
Ark came sailing through
Could you imagine just soaring through the air?
and Apollo, it's just Noah's Ark.
Military forces will activate co-op plans, emergency disaster report plans, and will shelter all mission essential personnel for at least 40 days. So they're going to protect like all the important people up to 40 days and no less than 40 days.
So just over a
Because that's,
month, you're good. But after
yeah,
that,
after that,
shit, dog, we're opening these doors.
we're sending it. We're every man for himself after those 40 days. Phase 4 is to stabilize. So this is when the zombie apocalypse is kind of coming towards its end, and the government wants to try to rebuild society, not just in America, but like all over the world.
Right. Shipping, trading, all that shit.
No earlier than 40 days after the initiation of phase 3. So phase 3 happens, and then a month or two later, phase 4 happens. The military forces will initiate local reconnaissance to determine the severity of the remaining zombie threat, assess the physical security and the health of local environments, and survey the status of basic services, so water, power, sewage, the air, lines of communication, stuff like that. And I think it's all pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's like, could this stuff even work anymore? Could these
like,
power lines work? Is it livable?
Is it structurally sound?
Right.
Are people still dying?
Right. Are there dead bodies all over the streets?
Are there massive fire pits of just burnt corpses?
Just
that would
pits.
be a crazy image.
You'd be sick for photos. On my 50mm Canon lens, that'd be pretty fire.
That'd be sick. Do some macro shots of like the dead zombie's face.
Yep. Maybe not the macro.
All reports will go back to the headquarters of the whole thing. And then those reports will be broadcasted on unsecure communication lines so that if anyone was isolated, like in those coffin boxes, they could link up with other survivors or other military forces. Will be facilitated so that they can call in and be like, this is where I'm at. And then people will be sent to help them, or they can make their way like a pilgrimage to a quarantine zone. And the military forces they'll stay in what they call combat ready to re-engage any remaining pockets of zombies or contaminated vectors. So they're going to start any information that they're going to get about the clearing of the apocalypse and the status of the environment around it are going to be broadcasted to everyone so that anyone can hear it and get involved and get to safety.
Do you think that would be like a loudspeaker situation? Like extremely end of the world, just like playing throughout the streets of any like communication system?
I think so. I think in like big cities, maybe. I think like they'll broadcast it on like radio stations and shit like that all over the country and all over the world. But I think like major cities, like they'll have like Humvees with like speakers. Just,
Bro, could you imagine walking through like a disheveled Chicago or New York, and there's just like loudspeakers echoing throughout the streets?
It's just like barren.
Get to safety.
Blah, blah, blah. The smog is
it's like fuck, dude.
Those are my favorites. Those are my favorite scenes in zombie movies because there's some kind of weird aesthetic to like the isolation,
the emptiness
of like how the empty dystopian zombie world.
Yep.
Honestly, I feel like if you survive this long, the emptiness would probably be welcomed because you're probably panicking the whole time.
Yeah, because I'm sure right off the bat, it's a fucking nightmare.
It's probably a disaster.
It's probably terrifying right off the bat. It's probably
people are eating each other's faces.
Like at your neighbor's house because you don't even know how the shit's spreading yet.
Oh, have you seen 28 Days Later? Okay, so spoiler, there's this scene where they're getting to like a safety area with like military people, and it's spread by like blood, obviously. And this crow was eating a zombie, like a dead zombie, and I think it had like flesh or something in its hand, and a little drop of blood landed in one of the military guys' eye, and that's
Of
how he
course.
turned into a zombie. And I thought that was such an insane, like that. Hypothetically,
I
you
mean,
skin your knee on the wrong area or touch something,
exactly.
you think AIDS is bad?
You could be the start of the fucking apocalypse, brother.
Oh shit! What up, Bingus? Bingus, no. Come here. Say hi to everybody.
Look at that boy.
Oh, you smell like dank.
He's lucky he's cute.
Yeah, he is. Looking tubby.
Little bastard.
Anyway, the last phase, phase five, is to restore civil authority or normalize the world. The military and industry partners. So, what I'm assuming that means is like businesses and people with a bunch of money and power. Will
GM, all that
you
shit.
know,
Big oil.
Pfizer. You know, Pfizer making billions off this plugging
Oh,
in them.
yeah. They have to let
Yeah,
it happen for at least a
pharmaceuticals.
little bit.
Yeah, they gotta milk it a little bit. Will collaboratively replace, recover, and rebuild and reconstitute allied civil infrastructures in the U.S. basically. And so basically what you're saying, like this is when they want to start rebuilding all of the things in society. Now the military will continue to provide support as required, and lessons learned and after actions report will be produced and then fed back into this plan specifically just in case it happens again so that they can kind of finalize their adjust it and, okay, this is what happened, this is how we're going to respond next time if it happens, because I feel like once the zombie apocalypse happens, it's just going to be a matter of time before it happens again, so they
Oh,
need to
yeah.
like plan for that.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, look at history. We've had so many like pandemic type shits. It's like it's gonna happen, and once this happens, it's gonna happen again. Just like the plague, there's
Mm.
like mini outbreaks all the time.
Isn't that crazy that people like I heard like Madagascar still has the Black Plague?
Dude, somebody in I think a few months ago I was reading in like Oregon, somebody got it from their cat.
Bingus.
Yeah, it's like
You just give me the Black Plague.
it's like the fuck. But I mean, it's probably an outdoor cat, but still, it's like what?
And how,
Damn, it's fucked
I mean,
up.
it's like polio, kind of. Some people still get polio.
It's like, what? But then they die
Well,
from it. It's like, how did you even get that?
do you
Dysentery?
think dysentery? Do you think it'll be like that? Kind of like a polio situation where like it's so rare to get polio. Like it's so rare. And we have vaccines that you get from like day one that prevent it from like killing you.
Yeah,
Do you
I
think there'd
mean,
be like a herd immunity type shit going on with the zombies? Or do you think it would
yeah,
be
I mean, it'd be like just for like COVID. Eventually they came up with a
some kind of,
vaccination, and then you're
yeah.
good to go. It's almost like this stuff needs to happen in order to truly be prepared for it. You need to have like a test
Mm,
run, but that's like the
the
scary
test
part.
run. It's like, hey, let's see if this knocks out humanity as a whole or we survive. Let's fucking get this bread, boys.
Let's send this shit out. Let's do it.
If okay, before we continue, if there was a country that started the apocalypse, like zombies, where do you think it's
India.
starting? Yeah, 100%. I'm not even.
No questions asked. India. Yep. I've seen so many videos where it's just like people driving through the streets and there's just like hella people like underneath like an overpass. And it's like a whole community. But it's just
Hmm.
like people are like cooking.
With their feet.
Yeah. It's like that's where it's
I
gonna
mean,
be.
love India. Indian culture's sick.
Yeah, they're dope. I mean
Religion's
it's not
food
them.
busting.
It's just how they're treated.
I think
Really.
it's the overpopulation. I'll be honest.
It
I think
is. They
there's
just
so
can't
many
handle
people. Yeah, and then
everything.
I think they get a lot of terrorist attacks from like the Middle East a lot.
Nice.
Anyway,
My thumb's so
um,
fucking gross.
I like that. You have it, dude. You have the apocalypse. You are the start.
I am the start of the apocalypse.
That's disgusting.
It's pretty bad.
You should pop it and suck all the juices out of it.
You're supposed to not, because you can get like a really deep skin infection if you pop it.
Do it anyway.
Zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Okay, so these are decisive points and critical requirements for this plan to function properly. I believe there are four. The first one being effective emergency quarantine procedures.
Okay.
So promptly identifying humans contaminated by a source of zombieism and and isolating them from a healthy population will be an essential factor with regard to keeping hospitals and medical facilities in operation. And then casualties contaminated by zombie sources must not be allowed to interact with healthy humans, and affected humans must be quarantined and basically eradicated. And failure to do that will undermine the whole plan. So
You're getting shot in the back of the head.
You're being put down if they think you're infected. Like
it's a witch hunt at that point.
Dude, people are gonna start being like, Bob is infected. We gotta kill
him. We gotta put him down.
We gotta kill him. We gotta kill him good. And it's like it would be scary because isolating people away from infected people, it takes one person, dude.
I can't leave my fucking mom's side, dude. Boom.
It's like that's honestly like as cold this is as this might be. If say your kid is infected and you can't leave them, you're getting isolated with the zombies.
You just got to stay with them.
Yeah,
if you're going to be like that, that's your life now.
That's how it's gonna be.
That's it.
And I would be really scared to go into a quarantine zone, to be honest, because every movie ever, they're always fucked.
I wouldn't even dare to wear the same shoes outside of the quarantine zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd want to potato skin all my fucking skin.
Yes, I wouldn't even want to even if I didn't touch anything, I wouldn't want to wipe my face in my hand, even if I didn't touch shit. It's
I would want to sew my holes closed.
Exactly. All my pores, each single one, a single stitch for every single pore.
I would just cauterize my entire face. Hot iron.
I would just dip myself in hot rubber, and then when it dries, I'd be latex.
I just want to...
Good to go.
Yeah, good to go. You ever seen those videos of those people who get cubed? That's what I call it. Well, it's not like an actual cube, but they there's them. There's them. There's they lay on a thing of latex or rubber, and then they're on top, and then another piece goes on top, and they vacuum out all the air. It's a thing.
Do you not die immediately?
No, they put a tube so you can breathe, but it's like a BDSM thing.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen people do it with giant balloons.
Yeah.
They crawl in and then fill it with air, and then they take and then they let the air drain out and it suctions.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I couldn't do that.
No, that's how you die.
That's how you
stupid.
fucking die.
Dumb ways to die, bro.
Don't do that ever.
No.
If you do that, you're getting put into with the zombies. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't saran wrap your face.
This is a good time for natural selection to kick in.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. If we have to lean it a certain way, it's whatever. But
if your chromosomes ain't chroming, it's time to go.
All right. The next point is local, tribal, state, and federal emergency management integration. And basically, all forms of the government, down to a civil level, will have to have perfect communication with each other, so that the plans and how to decontaminate and use hazmat equipment are done properly. Because obviously the government will be around to issue that, but the police, the local hospitals, the military that is stationed in rural Nevada, you know, everyone's gonna have to have almost nearly perfect communication so that someone doesn't fuck it up and fuck up the whole thing, which is never gonna happen.
No, and it
won't happen.
During a time like this, I would assume it'd have to be some sort of Morse code, especially if all shit was shut down.
True, some kind of secured.
It'd be Morse
line.
code. Yeah, it'd have to be or something.
Can you explain to me how Morse code does work? I understand it's a code, you have to decipher and shit, but how does it send? I could send you a Morse code thing.
So
today.
The only way I don't know an answer, but the only way that I would assume it works is there's a wire attached to it, and every time it makes contact with whatever you're tapping, that's the signal being shot through these wires, then somehow emitted, or maybe it's direct lines.
That's a
somehow.
long fucking line.
That's why there's no way these
How,
fucking lines are direct, but it's
how
just I don't
does
know.
Morse code work?
I mean, because people do it with like flashlights and shit, and it's always just like patterns. So I assume with tapping, it gets through some sort of signal. Maybe it's a signal that you don't need specific towers for or something. I don't know.
How does Morse code send?
There you go. That was Morse code send.
Morse code, blah blah blah. Using wires, radio, sound, or light.
Okay. So yeah,
So I guess it is wires and radios
wires.
and shit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's got to be some type of uninterrupted signal that is specifically for that, right? Because
Yeah,
otherwise it'd just be such a mess.
it's gotta be because like if you and I were sending a Morse code to each other and then neighbor wanted to send one to the other neighbor, how the fuck
And so on
would
and
they
so on and
not
so on. There'd just be hella clicks.
just like like how does any I don't know.
I have no idea. How does it
This
get
is why I'm not in the
deciphered?
military. This is
Same.
why we podcast.
Yep. This is why this is my station.
I am stationed. We can inform you of the public of what's going on a week after it's happened.
From my countertop.
Boom. Number three in the decisive points and critical requirements is effective infrastructure security. If energy, water, and sewage slash sanitation infrastructures are compromised by zombies, conditions will be created for basically anarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't
Because
think that's duh.
as soon as the
Like
groundwater gets affected, I think you're fucked.
yeah,
If the soil is zombified, good luck,
it's
pal.
over.
The potatoes are poison.
The potatoes, the potato famine of Ireland
The
is now
proof is
happening
in the
everywhere.
potatoes.
Dude, we should make a short film about how poison potatoes starting the apocalypse or
Can we
turning everyone
please
into a potato. That would be awesome.
make it in the desert when I move?
It's a desert potato that turns everyone into giant potatoes. That'd be
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. We'll be Ireland.
Further, in the case of sewage and sanitation infrastructure, like if zombies compromise these, conditions will exist that will facilitate the spread of the disease. In addition, compromise to these will jeopardize food, water, sources for healthy humans and wildlife and fauna,
Everything.
pretty much everything.
Yep.
So what that means is that if we can't keep food and water clean, everything's gonna die.
Yeah. If you don't have, I mean,
Because
if you don't have water, like alone, you're fucked.
yeah, and it's
Water's
like if
more
you can't
important
get
than
clean
food.
water, if you can't get water, like because we can go like a month or whatever, like we can survive the whole apocalypse without eating, but you need water. And if you get unfiltered, like unsanitized, infected zombie water, you can get parasites, you can get disease, radiation, anything could be in that shit.
So throw back to the cheese tunnels. You know how they just have like billions of pounds of cheese at any given time?
I'm gonna eat
Do you
that.
think we have like a giant store of water somewhere, like bottled water? But wouldn't it, does it not go bad?
Water? Okay, so you'll see like on like if you buy a bottle of water, a case of water, it will have an expiration date or like a Best Buy. It's
Okay.
not for the water, it's for the container because after that time the plastic will start to seep into the water. So you have to change the water container.
Oh, no shit. The more you
Yeah.
know. So it's like it's microplastics just bleeding into your shit.
Into the water.
Great.
Do you think glass would be the best course of action?
Yes. It's also
Because
like infinitely
metal-
recyclable.
Yeah, because dude, why don't we use some more glass?
Somehow
telling
we're
you,
running out
dude,
of sand. I don't know.
I don't. Not true,
I don't know how it works.
bro. Have you seen the
don't
desert,
blame me,
bro?
pal.
Dude.
He's like, I got sand for days.
Like I have sand everywhere.
Please
Hold
take
up.
it.
Like I don't want it. Number 4, safe food, water, and fuel distribution networks. Ultimately, healthy human populations and the forces protecting them will require water and foodstuff and fuel for the machines. Failure to maintain that will obviously make people die, and we won't be able to help people. And then if you have a bunch of starving people and you're trying to keep them contained, they're going to fight you and then anarchy is going to happen. So you have to keep the water and the food clean, but then you also have to figure out a way to get all of that to the people without it being infected in the process.
So, my thought here is our main source of like transporting things would probably be semis and trains. Because planes take a hell of a
Mm,
lot of money and a lot of maintenance.
true.
Diesel, diesel semis
You
and
can run.
shit, they run forever, bro. And
They
it's
go
like
on forever.
basic
You can use.
maintenance.
Yeah, and it's like you can run that shit on corn oil if
Yeah,
you
and it's
really
like you
wanted
don't need to be a literal aerospace engineer
to
to
take care of
fix
it.
it. You just
Yeah,
need to
like
be a
you can
diesel
teach pretty
mechanic.
much anyone to
Yeah,
do it.
I taught myself how to fix my own shit. It's like you can do it.
You can do it as long
So
as hey, if they keep the internet up, you can do anything you want.
U2 mechanic all the way, baby.
Um, so and it's like I mean, we were just talking about how you could strap a bunch of lights to your car to make it like a beacon of UV
A
light. You
beacon
know
of
what I
hope.
mean? Yeah. So, and with trains, I feel like the worst. I feel like trains would be the best way to do it because
They just plow through
you just
if there's
plow through
anything
the
on the
herd of
track.
zombies. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just obliterate them. So it's
Thousands and thousands of pounds just moving
just
at 80 miles an
hauling it,
hour.
just like that's
You're
gonna soar pink dust.
It's
Just
not going to slow down at all. But the
no.
conductor needs to be extremely safe when doing that with all that blood and
Mhm.
shit going everywhere. All the
True.
meat.
There would have to be some kind of like that. His cabin would have to be like its own little like safety pod, like
It would have to,
airtight.
yeah, it would have to be
You know,
like a, what do you call it? When you're like alone in jail.
solitary confinement.
It would have to be a little solitary confinement cell, is literally what it would have to be.
And if you think about it, like the zombie apocalypse isn't happening right now. We can have AI drive our trains,
Oh, yeah, easy.
dude. Zombies versus AI robots? Like, come on.
Come on. But
The
then they would teach
zombies.
themselves how to be humans and then they would prank us.
What?
If zombies were AI, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying if like Tesla robots had AI and they had guns, they
Oh,
could be the military that
I
killed
see
the
what you're saying.
zombies.
I
Not,
see what you're saying. Could you imagine everyone's Tesla vehicle, this all of a sudden, like a turret comes out of it? They're like, I didn't know that was there. And everything just takes off and goes to war. You're like, where'd my car
dude.
go?
Speaking of that, dude, could you imagine just like Elon just hits a button and like it transforms into a robot and
Everything
just
just
starts like it's like RoboCop that shit.
unmanned Teslas abandoning all states in the US.
They speaking of Teslas and the end of the world, I saw this movie that I would highly recommend you watch. It's on Netflix called This Is How It Ends, I think it is.
This is how it ends. Okay.
Here, let me look it up real quick. I'm sorry.
I'll have to add that to my
This
watch
is
list.
How It Ends.
It sounds right. I think I've heard of that before.
Okay, no, it's not that. It's
Oh,
close.
just kidding.
This is the what the fuck is
Is
that
it This Is the
called?
End?
No, it's got that fucking. It's got Julia Roberts in it. Hold on, Julia. You like Julia Roberts?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I don't like Julia Roberts' face. I'm just kidding.
I don't
I
like
have
Julia
nothing against
Child's face.
I don't like Julia Roberts. I don't know. I don't hate Julia Roberts. She's fine. It's called Leave the World Behind. And it's awesome. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. And there's a scene where they are driving a normal car with like gas and shit, and they're trying to leave, but the highway is backed up because of a bunch of Teslas have crashed and blocked all the roads. And the reason there's like a giant cyber attack
Because
that
like the
shuts down
network
everything in
shit.
America. And then so all of the Teslas in America start to self-drive and crash into people and crash into things because the hackers have been able to hack into all of the infrastructure of the
That's
US.
dope. So it's like a newer movie then.
Yeah,
If it has
20,
Teslas and all that.
2023. Super
Dope.
good. End of the world. Like, you'll lose hope in humanity so fast, but it's so good. It's basically about like how we have become so dependent on technology
It will
and
ruin your day, but it's gonna be sick.
you'll want to throw all your phones and devices in the garbage disposal. It'd be
Good.
awesome.
That makes me happy.
Anyway, point number 5, effective threat surveillance and warning programs. The government agencies at all levels must possess an effective means to communicate information about zombie outbreaks, potential zombie contaminations, vectors, and the safety of critical supported infrastructure. Basically, the government would have to come up with some kind of way to monitor and track zombies so that like they don't become overwhelming, and also so that like Bob dying doesn't infect all of his family and then turn all his family into zombies, killing all the neighborhood, and then so on and so forth. So there'd have to be some kind of like death watch, like the death doula of zombies, basically.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got to keep track of this shit. You got to put air tags on these bad boys.
Just like when everyone's born, they get an air tag inserted into their Neuralink, into their
Yep.
spinal cord.
Yes.
And actually, everyone's supposed to get a Neuralink, and then when they're right before they die, as their brain dies, they have to go off and it blows up, and then they're number zombies.
They have to at least walk 50 yards away from whoever they're nearest from, say the magic words, and they'll explode.
And the head will explode, and then some cleaning crew will come by and sweep them up.
Just immediate, just like Tesla robots, fly away.
Pick them up and just drive off. Dude, that'd be horrible because then people start hacking into that and be like, oh, Julia's head exploded.
Just going down the line, just going down the phone book.
So this is the critical vulnerabilities and kind of like the closing statement wrapped in one of the document. This is kind of heavy, so bear with me. Individual healthy humans. The individual healthy humans is the single most important factor in the plan. A zombie outbreak can affect thousands in a span of minutes. Ironically, given the consideration the zombie outbreak in human hosts cannot possibly last longer than 40 days because, as we mentioned, they'll eventually die.
Right.
There may be times when people will be forced to abandon other people who are unable to evade sources of zombie contamination. So you're gonna have to leave people behind. I'm sorry.
Could you imagine if grandma's sitting there in a wheelchair and you're like,
hey, Gramps.
Fuck, dude, I gotta go. I can't afford to push your ass across the fucking street.
He's like, hey, dog, you are not getting in that helicopter on the 19th floor. I'm telling you right now, we're leaving you here.
I can't carry you up all these steps, G-Ma. It's been real.
It's like, hey, dog, you either gonna get the fuck up and walk up these steps, or you're dying early. All right.
Either a miracle's gonna happen right now.
It's either God himself is gonna bless you right in this very moment, or I'm leaving.
I love that.
Such situations could arise while people are evacuating in the face of incoming zombies. So, grandma's stuck in a chair, but zombies are breaking down the door.
He's got to
She
go.
might just have to take one for the team, slow him down
Sacrifice.
for. Yeah. Such decisions. Oh wait. People must not be allowed to go back for family or friends or other personnel who cannot get away from the zombies quick enough. You're not. If you're disabled, like you ain't got no legs. Like imagine if you zombie apocalypse and you ain't got no legs. What do you?
You're fucked. You better get good with those arms, boy. You better learn how to sprint.
Could
like,
you
for
imagine
real.
seeing that like down the street, some dude with no.
That'd be terrifying, but I'd be like, you know what? Power to you, brother. Good for you.
He's like, dude, I want to be on his team.
Shit, he's gonna live longer than me.
He can like jump up like off the street with like a sword and hit the zombie in the head.
Yeah, you got the low center of gravity. You can use like your flappy legs to like swoop the legs.
Yeah, and you can be pretty nimble, agile.
Honestly, they might outlive us, buddy.
Dude, bro,
for real.
Fuck the military. We need everyone who has some kind of physical disability to fight the zombies.
Calling all my disabled friends. Let's go.
If you don't have legs, leave a comment so we can be on the same team.
One of my really good work friends is probably gonna watch this and be like, man, this is fucked up, bro.
Oh, that's horrible.
Love you, homie.
People who fall behind must be left behind. That was a direct quote, by the way.
Yeah.
Such decisions are abhorrent to normal people. Military and law enforcement personnel protecting them must rigidly enforce such restraint. I don't know what that word means.
Rigidly, like firmly. Like we have to do this.
Okay. Healthy humans can wait out a zombie outbreak if they are prudent. Nothing can be done to cure human if they become a zombie. So once you accept the fact that that person's gonna die, it's easier to move on. Basically,
it's easier to kill him.
Yeah,
you have to put him down.
You have to. Vance, if we're surviving the apocalypse and I get bit, put me down.
I couldn't put you down.
Well, then
I would chain you to a wall and like just put a camera on you and a mic and just be like, we're recording you, fucker. You just become my slave. You'd be my
Let's see if
content
Essie can
pig.
eat this cake. And I'm just sitting there like,
I'm just like throwing it at you, like poking you to get reactions out of you and shit.
eventually I would die because the zombies would, all die. And I'm just
Like, man, I was hoping
like,
he was gonna
fuck.
come back
You
afterwards.
just electrocute my body. And you're just like, every human that becomes a zombie increases the enemy's numbers and decreases the chance that healthy humans will survive. And that's that. What are
And
your
that's
thoughts?
that.
Do you
I
think this plan is an effective plan? And do you think if it was put in place, you would survive?
I think, or you know what? I think it would be effective, but after time. I don't think they'd be able to get it under control as fast as they would want, just due to like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with all the riots and shit that we've been through, it's like people aren't gonna
Nah, people.
conform. They're
No,
not
they're
going
not.
to. It's gonna take them all dying off and making everything. It's gonna get worse before it gets better.
I agree. I think there'll be like zombie rights activists
Yeah.
type
Well,
people, and people.
I just mean like people like you and I will survive because we'll listen and be like, all right, let's stay home and consume
Mhm.
this much of this and this much of that to kind of conserve for everyone else. But then like the root into in
Mm.
Americans are gonna be like, I don't need to listen to these pussies.
Yeah, I think like anti-government
Exactly.
radical groups would definitely be a problem. I also think people who don't, what's the word I'm looking for? I think selfishness would definitely kill a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I mean look at the toilet paper issue that we had
Yeah. Or
during the
like during like
pandemic.
all like the protests when that turned to riots, people just looting everything.
Yep,
Like
yep.
because once the zombie apocalypse starts and the people start dying that people care about and like the government isn't doing anything about it, like I think the problem, this is gonna get kind of political, is that people are not understanding that there's a bigger picture involved.
We all
So
have to
when
like do this in order to make
this
it good.
yeah, like because like Gmaw dies doesn't mean the government owes you anything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Which is
But I'm
sad.
Yeah, but when it comes to like the zombie apocalypse, I feel like there will
It's
be people blaming them and
yeah.
being like, they let this happen. They're letting all of us die. The rich are just all hiding and the poor are dying. Like that's just how it's going to be.
What? You're totally cutting out. I
Am I
can't hear you
really?
at all. Yeah, that whole point was totally just
I was just saying like I forget what I said.
nice.
I forgot what I said. I'm just saying I guess for everyone to like come together and do this would be really hard and a lot of people would have to die first.
Mm,
All the people who are trying to be like their own
government,
unit,
basically.
government,
Yeah.
their
Like there
own
would have to
law.
be because as soon as martial law is declared, there are so many people that are going to be like, no,
Exactly. And they'll just
I'm not
start
doing
killing
it
people just to kill people because they're like, oh, you're going to take that last package of unexpired meat? I'm going to kill you because I want it.
because I'm going to eat that right now.
Exactly.
And I think also a lot of people would try to start their own like nation state type thing.
It'd be bad. It'd be really fucking bad. I would
The,
rule this apartment building though.
oh
I'd be the
yeah,
king of this bitch.
this apartment complex is coming down, and I am taking over. I'm just
Absolutely.
kidding. I'm probably gonna just sit on my couch and play like war games.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play my
All good.
PS2 endlessly as long as there's power and just drink as much as I can. Smoke
I
weed.
eat I eat 2 days, 2 meals a day. I'm sure I'm gonna live.
Yeah, it's like for breakfast I had like a half a muffin. For lunch I had like a crouton. I'm like, I'm chilling.
Like this burrito right here that I haven't eaten yet.
Dude,
This
oh, fuck
this
me.
could
I need
last
to
me
get
two
food.
days.
That would last me about 2 minutes.
Well, I'm starving. I'm
I
gonna
am
need to
too.
just one.
Speaking of starving, should we just end this so we can eat?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I'm down.
That's the end of the zombies.
That's how the
That's it.
government's going to handle the zombie apocalypse, guys.
Yep.
If you have any concerns or your own zombie apocalypse plans, leave them in the comments or email us at the
Please do.
thoughtvoidpodcast@gmail.com. We'd
And
love
we'll
to hear
talk about
about
them
it.
next week if we get them in time for the next episode. We'll be more than happy to bring them up. Please reach out to us. We are totally about community with you guys.
If you don't, I'm going to give myself a bad trip. I'm gonna I'm,
If you
I'm
don't,
gonna
I'm
take
gonna
a
OD.
if you don't share this with 3 of your friends, I'm I'm gonna take a shit ton of Benadryl and watch live leak videos.
If you don't get us to 1,000 subscribers by next week's episode, I will purposely get too high and have the worst time of my life.
I will purposely start drinking again
I will start
until
a
I
bender
throw up every day.
right now.
We'll start a bender, and for every day we're not getting new subscribers, I will down a fifth.
Yep. And that's the rules. But until next time, it's been
Thanks for
real.
watching.
It's been
a good
fucking
time.
real. Follow us on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere you can find audio and shit. We're there. We're around. Email thoughtvoidpodcast@gmail.com, and that's it. I got a cat.
Hi.
There we go.
Peace.